So one of the reasons why our brain likes to create habits is because our brain is lazy, and the more it automates a habit, it does it without even thinking about it. And there are certain habits you need to have as an entrepreneur that's automatic, that you're not even thinking twice about it or needing to have a to-do list about it, which we'll get into here in a minute. But before I do that, I want you to understand that the title, 7 Habits of Highly Effective Entrepreneurs, came from the famous Stephen Covey book, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, which is be proactive, begin with the end in mind, put first things first, think win-win, seek first to understand before you understood, and then it's synergize, and last but not least, sharpen this off. If you haven't read the book, you got to read it. So let's talk about the 7 habits of highly effective entrepreneurs. First things first on the habit. Always be aware of the evolution of a business. Let me explain to you what it is on the evolution of the business. Whenever a business starts, the book that explained this the best is Barbarians to Bureaucrats. It explained there's always a prophet. There's the visionary. I have an idea. What if we do that? I have an idea. What if I go into this industry? I have an idea. What if we do this here? Then there's barbarians, which barbarians are the guys, I'm going to get it done. We're going to go do this no matter what. And that could be you. You could be the prophet and the barbarian. Then you have the builder, explorer. Then you start hiring admin people, paperwork, compliance. And then if you're not too careful, the company eventually gives birth to bureaucrats and aristocrats. And bureaucrats and aristocrats are deadly to any society, to any company, to any business, if you don't pay attention to. So what do I mean by this? You could possibly end up being that bureaucrat or the aristocrat. So a bureaucrat or an aristocrat is too cool for the game. It's too cool to be reached. You know, it's too cool to be contacted. Nobody can get close to him because you're above everybody. So you control. There's a cocoon like, hey, don't get close to me. I'm famous. Don't get close to me. I'm too important of a person. And then you lose touch with the people, and you lose touch with the population. You become godlike, and anytime you become godlike, no one is godlike, you're bound to get killed. And either that business gets killed or you get killed. You just saw what happened with Uber recently when the guys at the top said, we are the biggest IPO of all time, et cetera, et cetera. Boom! Too big for drivers, too cool for employees, too famous, too popular, and they have a fall, and next thing you know, Lyft goes from having 850,000 rides per day, the day the announcement was made with Travis getting fired, to 30 days later, 1 million rides a day. They went up 20% in 30 days simply because Uber started experiencing this bureaucrat to aristocrat type of stuff. So the habit is always know what's next. Always know what's going on. But keep it cool to make sure you don't experience that part. Next one, number 2. Always have an eye for talent. This is a habit. You're always out there. Let's just say you're at dinner, somebody starts talking, you'll say, I'm impressed by this guy. Hey, what do you do, John? So you're looking, I want a compliance guy. I want a finance guy. You know, the director of finance that I had here, she helped open up my checking account at WAMU years ago when there was a WAMU before they went out of business and Chase bought them for $1.9 billion. 10 years ago, WAMU was worth, in 05, WAMU was worth $330 billion. She was my banker. So I go and I open up the checking account and I said, guys, this checking account just opened up is a future billion-dollar company. Everybody's laughing at me. Oh, you're so crazy. I said, you're going to know about this account that we're opening up here. She kept paying attention to the account. Year and a half later, I recruit her. She becomes my director of finance. But I watched her every time I went there, how she treated me. Everywhere you go, watch everybody. See how they treat you. The habit of a highly effective entrepreneur is you're always looking for talent. What if we get this girl here? What if we get this guy here? What if we get this person here? I like the way this guy treats me. I like the way this guy gives me customer service. You're constantly thinking about talent. Number 3, always solving for X. Yesterday, I was in Cancun having breakfast with a couple who is thinking about moving their business from currently right now they're in LA. They were thinking about whether to go to Lafayette, Louisiana, or whether to grow their business to Miami, Florida. And so, hey, what do you think? Should we do it? Should we not do it? We're thinking about it. I said, so let me ask you a question here. First of all, let's solve for X. I said, what is solve for X? I said, do you have family back at home? Yes, we do. We got a kid and we got a kid. We got 2 sons here. Okay, 16, 18. Okay, location, son, economy, market. I said, what's the most important? He said, our kids are already grown. They're going to be fine. I said, so that's not what you're solving for, because if that's the case, you have to stay in LA. Not at all. Location, market is what we're solving for. I said, then you can't do Lafayette. There's 126,000 people living there. Miami, you got a bigger market within a 15, 20-mile radius. You may want to start thinking about Miami. Says, that's exactly what we're thinking about. Cool, no problem. So we solve for X. When you don't solve for X, you don't always make the best next decision or the best next move that you need to make because you're not thinking, what am I solving for? Am I solving for value or profit right now? Am I solving for a short-term or long-term solution? Is this idea that we just got a good idea for today, for 6 months from now, or 5 years from now? Why are we spending so much time on an idea that we'll do 5 years from now? We don't have the resources for this $3 million idea. Let's set it aside. That's solving for X. So have the habit of always solving for X. Number 4, constantly studying data. I love studying data because to me, one of the jobs of a CEO is I need numbers. So when I have numbers, I can see what we've done quarter to quarter to quarter. I can see what we've done month to month to month. I can see what's our best selling day, what's our worst selling day, what can we do to change the worst selling day, what's the next data that we need to study to be able to improve to help the revenues go a little bit higher or grow into a new market that we're not in. Everything is data. Sometimes I think people don't look at data too much because they say, I'm an A-type personality. I'm the guy that just goes out there and gets the job done, and I'm a killer, and I'm a visionary. I don't deal with the minutia. Oof. CEOs, typically of public companies, are CEOs because they have to do the quarterly calls, and investors want to know, why did the stock go up or down this quarter? And the CEO has to do the quarterly earnings. You have to have a story for all the investors. That's why that person's a CEO. So you as the entrepreneur have to start thinking like that. And the only way you can start thinking like that is by constantly paying attention to the data of your business, whatever that business is. Number 1, constantly casting a vision. Jessica here told me, as we were talking, she said, you know what, Pat? Every time we're in meetings or whatever, you always say, 10 million, 10 million, 10 million. She's saying 10 million, 10 million, 10 million. Where this could go to, where that could go to. I can't help myself, but I wasn't like that at first. I was just a dreamer without a vision. Once I sit there and I solve for X and I process the vision and what it's going to take to get there, I'm constantly selling the vision. I'm constantly selling the vision in meetings, in conference calls, in appointments, in conferences we have, no matter what it is. I am constantly selling the vision. And by the way, this is not something that's on the to-do list. Because I've done it so many times, it's automated in my brain because it's a habit. And because our brain likes to be lazy, because it likes to have things being automated, I automatically know I'm constantly going to be casting a vision. So you, highly effective entrepreneur, constantly cast the vision of where you're going next. Where's the company, the business? Where are you going next? Next point. Constantly, again, there's 3 constantlys here. Constantly staying focused for the next strategy. I didn't put the word focused here. Constantly staying focused on the next strategy. Let me explain to you what I mean by this. I did a video, something to do with business strategy, how to strategize your business, et cetera, et cetera. Maybe we should put a link of it so we know what the title is. As they put it up, you'll know what the link is, the thumbnail is, and you can go on the link on the bottom and watch that as well if you haven't yet. And in this video, I described what is the role of an entrepreneur, okay? What is the role of a CEO who's building a business, okay? And a lot of times people say, well, I need to be doing this, I finally wanted to create a system where everybody knows this is what you're doing. And sometimes you look at businesses that grow like this or they stay flat, and sometimes you notice businesses that are growing like this where they're beating quarter after quarter after quarter, but the top line revenue is beating the prior quarter. What is going on there? And there's a level of focus, and you can do this as well. So you come up with a strategy. How do you come up with a strategy? Here's the 4 brackets. The top is exponential growth. The bottom is linear growth. Think about this as the foundation you build it on, but this is how much you can scale the skyscraper to be big. So you need foundation, yes, but then this is what blows up and grows it to levels that you can't do if you just focus here. Linear growth is when you only focus on operations, systems, things like that. Biz dev is also linear. Relationship, I'm talking to this person, talking to that person. It's important, it helps you, but it's linear. Exponential is when you come up with your next innovative campaign. You could be the next innovative campaign, could be, Tesla could say, we're coming out with this new, Tesla SUV, the doors open like this. It's our next innovative campaign. Boom, they sell a few 100,000 of those cars, right? You could have a Nordstrom's could come up with a next innovative campaign. Amazon could come up with their next innovative campaign. Be part of Prime. You pay this much money per year to get shipping free, this free. It's their next innovative campaign. Companies constantly come up with their next innovative campaign. It could be a sale. It could be a contest. It could be a lot of different things. And then it's leadership development. A business grows when there's leadership development. The more you focus on your next strategy, it takes a few hours to sit down and do this and say, how do we need to improve operationally? How do we need to improve biz dev? Here's what we need, here's what we need, okay, great. What is our next innovative campaign? What's the last 10 ones we did? Which one did the best? Which one didn't do well? Which one cost us a lot of money? Which one made us a lot of money? Leadership development. Who do I need to work on at the home office to build them into an executive? Which partner do I need to work on closely to make them a bigger partner, a preferred partner? Which salesperson do I need to work on because that person could be a sales leader or they can be a senior vice president or somebody else? Who can I lock onto to make that happen? Those things is what gets the company to grow thicker and exponentially. So stick to your strategy. And by the way, before I get into my 7th point, if you have any questions, thoughts, comments on anything I covered, comment on the bottom. I'm not done with the video yet. I'm about to give you the 7th point. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, do me a favor and click on the subscribe button here to subscribe to the channel before I finish off the video. And if you want to join the notification squad, click on the button right next to it. Now let me give you the 7th point. Here's the 7th point. Exercise, health, and energy. That is a habit. Why? If you don't have energy, you cannot last long. If you cannot last long, you will be crushed by another person that knows how to last long. To do all of this stuff that I just covered with you, the word constantly means what? Energy. Constantly means over and over and over and over and over again. If you don't have energy, you can't do anything constantly. You can only do it once because you need energy. This word needs energy. This word needs energy. This word needs energy. Always needs energy. Always needs energy. Being aware needs energy. This is, I got to be aware. Always needs energy, right? If you don't have energy, you can't compete in a capitalism market. You just cannot because your brain doesn't have the energy to think about the next ideas to come up with. So having said that, those are the 7 habits of highly effective entrepreneurs. Again, questions, thoughts, comments, comment on the bottom. If you haven't subbed, do so. But the challenge I have for you is this. Here's what I want you to do at the ending of this video. I want you to look at all these habits, write them down, and ask yourself, how good of a job do you do on every single one of them? And you may want to watch this video all over again to hear me explain it to you again. And if you got an executive team, you may want to watch this with them to get them on the same page as well so you grow even faster. With that being said, thanks for watching, everybody. Take care. Bye-bye.